Last seen wearing a blue jacket, gray sweater, blue jeans, and black dress shoes. Once again, he's missing from Norwich. And if you have any information on where Mr. Vilches may be, please call Norwich Police at 886-5561. That's 860-886-5561. All right. The 8 a.m. news has been brought to you by Dish Car Sales of Franklin. 30 years of satisfied customers. Don't just wish, make it Dish. All right, let's take a look at the forecast right now with Paul Lash. Good morning, Paul.
Morning and good morning, downtown Jewett City. Right now, the temperature is 14 degrees. Sun and clouds today with some, maybe mixed a little bit with highs around 32. Could be a little wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. But tonight, cloudy with snow showers developing after midnight, lows around 18 degrees. For your Thursday, dry, intervals of clouds and sunshine, has to be about 31 degrees. And of course, for Thursday evening, partly to mostly cloudy, lows around 9 degrees. And that's your weather from SNSN on this Wednesday, 02-10-2021.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Paul. Just in a minute or so, we are going to be joined by 45th District Representative Brian Lanoue, as he will be calling in. He was originally scheduled to be here, but he wasn't able to make it because they're in legislative session right now. So, and I think that's him right now. Let's see. And good morning. Who's on the line with us on SNSN Internet Radio?
Good morning, Mike. How we doing? Brian Lanoue here.
Hey, Brian. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. How we doing?
So far, so good. Lots of snow, which I know you.
I know some more on the way. I understand too. So.
Oh God, I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that.
Gonna be here for a little while.
So, the 2021 legislative session has started to kick in, and it's kind of starting off with a bang, is it not?
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, certainly a lot of bad bills kicking around, and we're gonna fight very aggressively. The ML tax, for example, is trying to impose a state level property tax in towns that don't have at least 10% affordable housing, and just to name a few. This morning, I'm going to be testifying with a constituent, Jeremy Bradley, who's the executive director of the Women's Center in Willimantic. They have a pregnancy care center. There's a couple dozen around the state that do absolutely fantastic work and offer many free services to women that are pregnant and are facing an unplanned pregnancy. They help them and eventually their babies to get the care that they need. They don't accept $1 in state funding or federal funding, but yet the state this legislation wants to target these centers, use the full power of the Attorney General's office to go after them for what's perceived as deceptive practices. And it's just a terrible bill, terrible legislation. So they've been this is the 5th year now that this has been brought up, and not one woman has come forward with a first-hand account of any testimony that I've seen that is actually claiming that they've been deceived. So it's very bizarre and can do a great deal of harm to these centers. But with that said, tomorrow, the Public Safety Committee, it's going to be hopefully a very good day for the 45th District.
Now, are you speaking to the bill number 5586?
I am speaking of 5586. That's to the crisis bill, and it became a House Republican caucus initiative, and we had a great press conference yesterday. Miranda Mahoney from Griswold Pride, who you know very well,
yep.
And we all do, was there with me, along with Deputy Republican House Leader Jason Perello and the ranking member of the Public Safety Committee, Robin Green, and laid out what the crisis proposal, what the crisis initiative does. We're all very familiar with it here in Griswold.
Well, why don't you reiterate? Why don't you tell us again what it's all about?
Yeah, it's an excellent program. It's started off was launched in a pilot community right here in Griswold. is now in the Troop E region of state police. What it does is it brings together our law enforcement, both our state as well as local police departments can and do latch onto this that are within the jurisdiction of the Troop E region, essentially New London County, and it embeds a DEMIS clinician. So when there's a mental health call, an opioid overdose, some other mental health disorder, the police officer, if the clinician will either get dispatched with the police, or if they're not on duty at the moment, they can get the police can do a referral. Also, they during other courses of their duties as police officers, whether community-oriented policing, going in to get a coffee, or somebody calling for help and expressing some distress that they have a substance abuse issue, they're struggling. The police officer can write up a referral. It goes immediately to the clinician, who again is embedded right inside the troop. They do the follow up with the person. A lot of times they'll meet with the families and get them into the pipeline that they need for mental health treatment. It's been very successful, and the numbers show it. There's been nearly 600 referrals since 2017 when this launched, and over nearly 500 follow-up visits and follow-up referrals from the clinician. So it's again, it's been successful. And in 2019, I put in a bill to expand the crisis initiative up to Troop D. And I'm sure you remember we had the rally right at the youth center on Ashland Street.
Yes.
You were there from the beginning, Mike, and kudos to you. And I've been covering this very, very well. And so we had that rally. Currently, half my district is in Windham County, so they do not have a crisis. The local PDs would not even have the option to get into that because it's not in that jurisdiction. So this would have now expanded it up north, and through the thanks to a lot to your where you helped expose this and get this out and showing crisis and talking about it. Miranda going up and testifying with me in 2019. My caucus, and really, there's been a lot of bipartisan support, but they were very impressed with the program, which started in Griswold. They liked it very much, and it became a caucus initiative. The leadership is behind it. My leadership within the Republican caucus, and we're moving it as a caucus initiative, and the Committee on Public Safety is going to be, and this is going to be expanded statewide. So not just up north in Windham County, but to move this across the entire state, all four corners of the state, and everywhere in between. So it's very exciting, and we're having that hearing tomorrow. It starts at 1:00, and we will be answering questions of the members of the committee and talking about it. So that's one of the bills. The other bill, which I co-introduced with 8 other co-introducers, including Senator Summers, is it's HB 5722, and what this does, it exempts volunteer stipends for volunteer firefighters and ambulance members of the ambulance service. So, and all my 5 towns, they have those are volunteer services, volunteer EMS, volunteer firefighters. With the in Voluntown, for example, they offer the volunteers, they have to attend so many meetings, do so much certification, and respond to so many calls within a year. If they do that, they get a stipend check. It incentivizes those to join the department and hopefully retain them. However, at the end of the year, they get whacked with federal and state tax on those stipend checks, and namely the Connecticut income tax. So it knocks them down quite a bit. So it then disincentivizes, and they're having a hard time holding on to people. And for example, filling the ambulance, get somebody in the ambulance to fill those shifts. So this bill would exempt those incentive those stipend checks from state income tax. I think it's very important. We certainly in 2020 and present day, we recognize just how valuable each and every one of our first responders are, our frontline workers, and particularly our volunteer first responders, and just how valuable they've been to our communities right here in the 45th these last several months. And this is a small way to say thank you, and we want to do our part as a state to make sure we give them that extra incentive and extra support. I think it's very important. So those two bills are both being heard tomorrow in the committee. So again, it's a very positive day for the 45th district, and certainly any testimony from the public is more than welcome on this. And we're going to be testifying with Miranda on crisis, and also speaking on 5722, which is the income tax exemption for these stipend checks.
Hey, Brian, is that being wow, that's loud. Hey, Brian, is that
Well, I
being?
know you were jumping in.
Oh, is that being televised on CTN?
Yeah, it should be. Yes. There's also, I think they have it YouTube channels, so I think there's a way you can look at it. We have the information up on my website, so you should be able to see it. And we'll certainly be sharing a copy of the testimony and the video as well. But there's some links to the YouTube channel that where it's covering it. And I imagine that if it's not live, it should be. CTN typically does a good job re-hearing a lot of these hearings.
One of the things that we did last week is we had a lieutenant from the Jewett City Fire Department in here, and one of the things we spoke about is, of course, recruiting and bringing new people, new men and women into the fire department. And the subject that came up, that actually Paul brought up, was the question of a stipend. And what do they get? And it was funny because then we talked about them getting hit on taxes. So I think this is pretty timely.
It is, and I think it's long overdue. Something that really should have happened a long time ago. But we are where we are, and we need to make this happen. And I think the return on investment from any potential loss of revenue from these taxes, I think we will get paid back in dividends by the level of service that our first responders give our citizens. Literally our community, our neighbors are dependent on our fellow neighbors during time of emergency out here in the rural areas. We rely on them to show up at whatever time it is when there's an emergency. I had as you remember, I had anaphylactic shock almost over 2 years ago now, and those volunteers that were the ones that showed up that really, I think, went a long way to, I felt saved my life.
Saved your life, yeah.
So it really hits home, and this is a way I think we can all say thank you. And we rely very, very heavily on that. And so they're the ones that are putting their lives, risking their lives for us, and particularly again with in the COVID-19 element that we're in right now. These are the finest among us. So, and I think the recruitment and retention and the level of service they're giving us, we need to make sure we hold those numbers and even certainly increase them, and help preserve our volunteer fire departments and EMS. And so the stipend goes a long way, and we don't, as a the state government, I certainly don't want to see them hinder that in any way. So we need to stay together way here on taxes, and let these stipends stand, and let them get their full amount.
We're talking to Brian Lanoue, who's the 45th district representative up in the House, up in Hartford, which of course affects Griswold, Plainfield, Sterling, Lisbon, and Voluntown. So You ever get any backlash from like the first selectman? You ever have to talk him off the ledge and say, I'm the boss now?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Mike.
It was a joke question anyway. So thank God you didn't hear it. Put it that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did not catch that one. But
So this is a very important time right now in the 45th, with these couple bills. What other things can you share with us? Anything else that's coming on down the pike?
so right now, of course, the governor's budget address is today, so he's going to unveil a lot of his proposals. So we'll be looking at that, of course, very carefully. This is a new budget year for the biannual budget, so we will be taking a look at that. But some of the legislation that I mentioned to you regarding the property, try to impose a second property tax, which will have a horrible effect on this district, on rural communities. If you don't have a certain amount of affordable housing, the EMO tax, again, this is being resurrected from the 2020 session, which would be again a disaster for our district. That we're on the state line with Rhode Island, and people can simply just go across the border and buy their ammunition and firearm accessories in Rhode Island or Connecticut. So if it's 35% less expensive in Rhode Island, they'll simply go across the border. Makes no sense from a dollar and cents standpoint. It's going to be horrible for our gun shops and accessory shops and the greater economy, because people do, when they're making those purchases, they will either have lunch, they will get a tank of gas, they will go and patronize the local area, surrounding area when they're making those purchases. We will then lose that to Central Rhode Island, right across the border. So makes no sense. And there's also a thing called the Second Amendment. So it very much threatens our Second Amendment liberties as well and freedoms. So we need to fight back against that. Hopefully, it does not move out of committee, but we're prepared in the case that it does. So
they've been doing this whole gun thing ever since we had that shooting down in the other end of the state. But
yeah.
Is there any caliber? Is there any special caliber that's going to be taxed more than any other, or is just all ammunition?
It says all ammunition.
All ammunition.
Yeah. So again, it's in the concept stage at this point, but the concept on its face, the concept is ill-conceived and is completely wrong. So
I agree with you. I think people are going to just cross state lines. That's what they're going to do. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Free enterprise. That's the free enterprise market system, and that's what it's a lot like the laws of gravity.
Sure.
You can't regulate the laws of economics, and all government does is make it worse.
Yeah.
So it'll be an opportunity for Rhode Island. It's gonna will greatly harm us. A bill that I put in again from 2019. I co-introduced it with other members of the Conservative Caucus. This time it's known as the preemption bill. So it prohibits a town or city from imposing gun restrictions, more gun restrictions and firearm restrictions above and beyond what state and federal law already dictates. So there's 169 different municipalities in Connecticut. Many people travel with their feet, will go across the state, go several towns over, and by having a state firearm permit following state and federal law to the T, you could still be in violation of some local ordinance, not even knowing it, just by having your feet in that town with your firearm, with being permitted for concealed carry. Could be in some municipalities that is a violation of law, and you could be charged with a crime.
There's no rule about carrying ammunition across, right?
So we will have to see. But again, we're trying very hard to get a hearing. That bill currently lies in the Planning and Development Committee. In 2019, it went to Judiciary, so it was sent to a different committee for some reason this year. But we'll keep working working hard on that. And you make a good point when you say laws are on ammunition across state lines. I don't know the exact law on that, but that's an interesting point, and that's the difference between a liberal perspective and a conservative perspective. Let's just say for 1 second that it is a violation of some law, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And instead of us looking at this deliberatively in the legislature and say, this is a bad idea, this is bad policy, it can't work, people are gonna do this. The liberal response would be, let's get a special group of police. Let's hire a bunch more police inspectors to camp out at the state line and try to suspect who may be purchasing firearm accessories and ammunition across the state line, and to avoid the state tax.
That could happen, because remember many years ago when people were going to New Hampshire to buy their liquor?
Yeah,
and they were trying to catch people coming across the state line with liquor being brought out of New Hampshire.
Yeah, but it's not even just that. Now it's marijuana.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So what you say is it's a bad proposal. It's ill-conceived. We don't move forward on it, and we see time and time again where bad legislation gets made law. You see these problems, and then they compound it by adding, tweaking it, and spending more money on a bad proposal or a bad program, and that's wondering why we have the financial hardships in the state that we have in our government. So that's part of the battle here.
All right.
But I am gonna have to. I gotta get ready for this hearing coming up. I'm meeting with Jeremy a little bit ahead of time, but again, I want to encourage everybody to testify today on the pregnancy care bill to show support for pregnancy care centers, and tomorrow for to expand the crisis initiative statewide. It's gonna make sure all of the 45th has it, and the rest of the state of Connecticut. It's great legislation. It's a great program, and we really want to rally people behind that. Rally people behind our first responders and our volunteer firefighters, EMS, ambulance members. So let's get behind this, and hopefully we can give some much needed relief to our police and first responders.
All right, Brian. Thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it. I know it's been a very busy session very early on. So thanks for that.
Hopefully we can connect. They can stay a little bit longer. We can do it maybe next week, week after, and we can we'll do those regular legislative updates.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you very much, Brian. Have a great day.
You guys. Stay safe. Stay safe, everyone. And we will. You guys, anybody needs anything out there, make sure you call me anytime. Home number 376-9354. CGA email is my legislative email, brian.lanoue@cga.ct.gov. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it, and we will be chatting soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Brian. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. It's State Representative Brian Lanoue calling in from Hartford. He's got a very busy day.
Yep.
Very busy day.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask him about, one of the things that kind of slipped in a little bit, but it didn't gather any traction in our conversation. I did ask him. I wanted to ask him about what's going on with marijuana.
Oh,
because that issue's been kind of swept under the rug a little bit.
I thought that Lamont was for it. I could be wrong, but I thought he was.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, we'll find out.
I'm not sure.
We'll find out today, because I think today he does his talk, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. So,
that is today. So
yeah.
So next up, we have Ryan Aubin coming up. He'll be joining us right here on SNSN Internet Radio. But in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break and wait till Ryan phones in. And we'll be back in a second right here on SNSN Internet Radio. Good morning.
You buy better. Better with Burns. Much better. So much better with Burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better with Burns. You buy better with Burns. You buy better. It's a new season.
season, and the Burns Agency wants to remind you of a few precautions you can take to keep safe this season. It's a great time to make sure your chimney is serviced before the chestnuts start roasting. Before that Thanksgiving turkey drops in the deep fryer, be sure all smoke detectors are in working order. Let's clean out the gutters and properly dispose of our combustibles. Make space for our shovels, scrapers, and driveway salts. Last but not least, give the Burns Agency a chance to review your current coverage for any cost-saving opportunity or policy enhancements your current plan might be missing. Call, email, chat us online. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Right insurance at the right price. You buy better at Burns. You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
Do you have a junk car or maybe one that got blown up and caught on fire? The guys from Scrap for Cash, they don't care. They're going to come to you. They're going to tow it away for free, and then they're going to pay you $275 for it. Scrap for Cash will turn that heat in your backyard into money so you can pay bills, taxes, groceries,
and night on the town.
Find Scrap for Cash on Facebook or call 860-373-2556. Scrap for Cash.
The 8:30 a.m. report on SNSN is brought to you by the Burns Agency. With offices in Dayville and Norwich, find out why you'll buy better at Burns.
You buy better. Better at Burns. Much better. So much better at Burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better at Burns. You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
It's a new season, and the Burns Agency wants to remind you of a few precautions you can take to keep safe this season. It's a great time to make sure your chimney is serviced before the chestnuts start roasting. Before that Thanksgiving turkey drops in the deep fryer, be sure all smoke detectors are in working order. Let's clean out the gutters and properly dispose of our combustibles. Make space for our shovels, scrapers, and driveway salts. Last but not least, give the Burns Agency a chance to review your current coverage for any cost-saving opportunity or policy enhancements your current plan might be missing. Call, email, chat us online. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Right insurance at the right price. You buy better at Burns. You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
Here's a look at your local news headlines on SNSN Internet Radio. It was announced on Monday that residents over the age of 65 will be eligible to schedule COVID-19 vaccination appointments starting on Thursday, February 11th, as the state rolls into the next part of Phase 1B of its vaccination program. Vaccinations for individuals over the age of 75 and those within Phase 1A will continue. With approximately 350,000 individuals in Connecticut between the ages of 65 and 74, and a slightly increased but relatively small weekly supply of the vaccine being received in the state from the federal government, Governor Lamont said state public health officials are stressing the need for patience on the part of Connecticut residents. Currently, the state anticipates receiving about 60,000 first doses of the vaccine per week from the federal government. All eligible residents are required to make an appointment in advance to receive the vaccine. To find available vaccination clinics throughout the state, residents can visit ct.gov/COVID vaccine and enter their zip code. And as always, you can simply call 211. While the snow has been falling in Eastern Connecticut, Griswold residents have been asking whose responsibility is it as far as the snow, as well as what fines are being levied in case they don't move it. On the Borough of Jewett City side of things, residents have 48 hours to remove the snow from the sidewalks in front of their homes or businesses, if you happen to have a sidewalk, that is. If you don't move the snow, the borough will fine you $35 for not doing so. That's not where it stops, though. The snow still has to be removed, and it is not inexpensive. According to the Borough of Jewett City, they will then ask the town to remove the snow from your sidewalk in front of your house, which will incur additional fees over and above the $35 fine that the borough could levy on you. If the snow is light and fluffy, the cost is $75. If the snow is heavy and wet or possibly frozen, that would require additional equipment. Then the minimum fee is $125. This is over and above the $35 fine from the borough of Jewett City. If all the fines and fees are not paid, the town has the option of putting a lien on your property. A silver alert has been issued for a missing Norwich senior, Teofilo Vilches from Norwich. He's described as being 69 years old. He has gray hair and brown eyes. He stands about 5'5" and weighs about 146 pounds. He was last seen wearing a blue jacket, gray sweater, blue jeans, and black dress shoes. Once again, he's missing from Norwich. And if you have any information on where Mr. Vilches may be, please call Norwich Police at 886-5561. That's 860-886-5561.
The 8:30 a.m. report has been brought to you by the Burns Agency. With offices in Dayville and Norwich, find out why you'll buy better at Burns.
All right, let's take a look at the forecast right now for Eastern Connecticut with Paul Lash.
Good morning, everybody. And right now, the temperature downtown Jewett City now is up to 21 degrees. Sunshine and clouds today. Will be kind of mixed, though. On and off sunshine. Highs will be around 33 degrees. But tonight, cloudy skies. This evening, a few snow showers around, which we're kind of used to anyway. Lows will be around 18 degrees. But Thursday, it's going to be sunshine and clouds mixed. Highs about 33 degrees. And of course, for Thursday evening, mostly cloudy skies. Then partly cloudy after midnight. Lows, however, will be down around 9 degrees. So cool night tomorrow night. And that's your weather from SNSN on this Wednesday, 02/10/2021.
Yesterday's best rock today.
Long live rock. SNSN Radio.
And good morning. Welcome back to the show. It's 8:36. That would mean it's 24 minutes in front of 9. I did that with math. All in my head, Paul. All in my head. I did that.
That's surprising.
All in my head.
That's surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it had it in you.
60 minus.
Well, at least this shows you still got some brain left.
No.
Try that in another
No,
year.
I don't. Yeah. So I did want to know. Darn it, I didn't get a chance to ask because of the whole marijuana bill. That just has been swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And you always hear about how different things come to the forefront because it's not about that because they really want you to forget about something else. Yeah. Until that kind of creeps up and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think marijuana should be legalized?
Well, people are doing
recreational marijuana. I guess that's the right term.
People are doing it anyway. Think about it. I mean, everybody gets a medical card. I mean, you get a medical marijuana card, but really, how many people really need it? Think about it. There's a lot of people got marijuana cards that don't need the damn
How many
thing.
people want it?
Oh, there are legitimate reasons to have a medical marijuana card, and that's because because it's
that's already legal. I'm talking about recreational.
I know, but what I'm saying is that people who probably don't need the need the medical card, are getting it for some apparent reason so they can get it legally. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there are a lot of people. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been down to the dispensary down there.
I have not. No.
It would shock you. It would shock you the amount of people that are down there. I mean, it's like it's worse than going to McDonald's on a busy day. I mean, you're lucky if you can find a parking spot.
Really?
I'm serious.
We missed the boat, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like you walk and you get in line, and then you come out with your little white bag. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Can hear it now.
Yeah.
I can hear it now. Yo, this is Cheech. And I'm Chong, man. Come on down to the dispensary.
Just that's.
Can I have a bite of that chili dog? I'm a little hungry.
I don't know about you if you saw it or not, but they took the video from Cheech and Chong. They're in that truck of theirs that was smoking.
Yeah.
Guess who was in the back seat? Oh. Bernie.
Bernie Sanders.
Poor
Bernie.
Somebody did a nice job, and they had put Bernie in the back seat of that video. And actually, the video was actually playing, and Bernie was in the back seat.
God. So Ryan Albin's going to join us in a few minutes. Speaking of medical marijuana, no. So he's going to be. They've got some programs that are coming up. So that'll be. It's always interesting to talk to Ryan.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever really know what he's going to talk about. Usually it's about something about the town and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
What else was I going to talk about? There was something else I was gonna mention to you. So as far as marijuana is concerned, do you think that'll help the tax base?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But the problem is that a lot of the when you go there, they don't take a credit card.
What do they take? Bitcoin?
No, a lot of the credit card companies got nothing to do with purchase or sales of marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. I believe
Got
that's
it.
one of the problems they have. So, but I think the state eventually will go that route because they want more tax. I'd rather see them tax marijuana than start taxing us for stupid stuff.
Well, they've been taxing us on cigarettes and gas for how many years?
Sure.
All right, they've been doing that. Now all of a sudden, marijuana is going to be an issue.
Right.
Come on, marijuana. This is my own personal opinion, but you don't die from marijuana.
Well, you can if you're driving and
Well, you can die from bath salts, or Epsom salts, or eating too much cholesterol and that kind of crap. You can die from all that too. You can die from saccharin. If you're sitting in a tub and consuming it all. Saccharin.
You bathe in saccharin?
No, Paul. No, I'm just talking about. It could happen.
Oh yeah,
there are a lot of things that could happen. There's a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Yeah, right.
So
not gonna argue with you.
Huh?
Not gonna argue.
Yeah. There you go. So we're waiting for Ryan Albin to kind of pop in here. Just wait for him. So let's take a look at the holidays that are coming up that you should be celebrating that you didn't know that existed in the first place.
Oh.
February 10th. That is today.
What is it?
Oh, by the way, Valentine's Day in 4 days, right?
Sunday.
All right. You know how to save money on your Valentine's Day gifts?
How's that?
Dump your wife. There you go. So no, don't do that. All right. Today is National Cream Cheese Brownie Day. That is today, National Cream Cheese Brownie Day.
Never had one.
It's what?
Never had a cream cheese brownie.
It's like a brownie with cream cheese in it. No. Okay.
Never had one.
National Flannel Day.
Yeah. When you get my age, flannel is popular.
It's National Home Warranty Day.
Too late. Too old.
Hi, I'm calling about your home warranty. You have a minute to talk? It's Teddy Day. Teddy bears.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't know what teddy you were talking about.
What do you think I was talking about?
Well, they make a teddy for women.
Oh, no.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's a family show, Paul.
Nothing wrong with wearing a teddy.
Well, then you just wear your own teddy. It's Umbrella Day.
We don't need an umbrella.
You don't need an umbrella?
No.
Nope, not today.
No.
So those are the holidays that you should be celebrating that you didn't know that existed in the first place. So still waiting for Ryan. He said less than 5 minutes. It's been 8. Right.
He's finishing his breakfast.
Huh?
He's finishing up his breakfast.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a quick break. And as we wait for Ryan Albin right here on SNSN Internet Radio.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
We are the future. Griswold Parks and Rec is a parent's one-stop source for all things fun. Town events, sports, fitness, and enrichment for all ages. Love our residents. Let us prove it. Go to griswoldrec.org.
Hi, this is Alan Gear. You may know me as Mr. Jewett City. I want to tell you about my experience with our local eye doctor, Dr. Joel Zuckerman. I recently had cataract surgery, and I was told that I needed new glasses. I didn't know what to do because the problem was this was right in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. Where the heck was I going to get glasses? I checked places that make glasses. I looked online, and what I found was my solution was practically in my own backyard. So I called Dr. Z, as most people know him. His office is right on North Main Street, right here in the borough of Jewett City. I went to my appointment and had my glasses faster than I would have thought possible. Call Dr. Zuckerman at 376-2848. I trust Dr. Z with my eyesight, and you should too. Make an appointment today.
Hello, I'm Miranda Mahoney, Project Coordinator of Grizzle Pride, your drug-free community coalition. We want to help you keep your kids safe during this challenging time. Social distancing is still in effect, and so is the social host law. Reports are coming in that teens are contracting the virus at underage drinking parties. Parents, allowing underage drinking on your property could land you in jail for up to a year, plus fines. Another reason why you should not provide alcohol to our youth. For more info, go to grizzlepride.org. grizzlepride.org. grizzledpride.org.
All right. Welcome back to the show. It's 8:44. And it is Wednesday, and we always have fun when we have people on online with us. Phone is one thing, but online, people can see it. I can see him. My goodness, there he is, all the way from down the hill. It's the one and only. It's Ryan Aubin.
Oh, I was still getting applause even over here. I can hear your in-studio audience.
The in-studio audience is giving you a big round of applause. They've missed you so. They've missed you so.
Did you know that you timed our commercial like exactly when I logged on? It was the Parks and Rec Youth Services.
It wasn't meant that way, but
yeah, I just think you're that good, you know.
No, that was just luck. That was just luck, man. That's exactly what it was. So, how are things down at the youth center?
Good. We're staying busy. Changing everything, turning on its head, and kind of relaunching it because of COVID, and it's going good. Can't complain. My staff, we have part-time staff. Through snow or anything, they still come in. They're amazing. That article yesterday was kind of a surprise. It was supposed to be out in a week or so, but they did it early, and it kind of highlighted my team here, which is amazing, and our rec commission. And I just think people get forgotten. You see Ryan Aubin's name everywhere, but it's not just me. You can't really give me all the credit. I work with a lot of amazing people, and I work with nonprofits and volunteers that really, without them, nothing we do would be successful. How can you have like a snowflake parade with, one float? We can't do that. It's our volunteers that make those events amazing, and we're just the ones that coordinate everything.
What's been the biggest challenge for the youth center or youth and family services when it comes to COVID-19?
Honestly, it's the disposition of the kids. The kids that come in are, they love being here because there's other kids here, but we usually have, like before COVID, 20 to 30 kids running around, and now we're down to the cohorts where it's half and half, and some of the families really don't, they don't even send the kids here or school. A lot of the kids that used to come here every day are distance learning only. I give their parents credit for that. That's a lot of work, but yeah. So we only have up to 9 kids here, but now with the tutoring program, we have at least 12 to 15, but they're divided. For on the first floor is the youth center, and all the chaos that goes on there, and then the second floor is the quiet, library-like setting where it's tutoring, where we have one-on-ones, which is we hired tutors to.
How many kids are taking advantage of the tutoring?
We're up to 17. We have 25 spots. Yeah. And with the snow, Monday was our first tutoring. February 1st. And then the snow hit, so we had to postpone. But it's been going great, and what we're learning from this tutoring program is it's not really, yeah, the academics, they're getting done because you have a person there as a mentor, helping. But it's more that these kids need some sort of person to talk to. Like it's more than just school, and having kids come in early for their appointments to hang out and just be excited to be at the youth center is pretty special. That, after COVID is gone, we're going to make tutoring, mentoring a component of everybody we hire from this point forward, so we can keep that going. So,
Paul, do you have anything?
No,
Paul's got nothing.
I got nothing.
Thanks, Paul.
Paul needs to be tutored. You need to be tutored, Paul? Paul's starting life all over again. He doesn't.
I know. I walked into the. I forget what you're talking about, but the only thing I heard was like, "This is a family show." So, I don't know what you said. But
we always said Paul needs to wear. He needs to be tutored, but really, Paul needs to wear a tutu.
Pink one.
Yeah, pink one. So you have started another program, and I gotta hand it to you. I mean, you have kept very busy. Seems like you're busier now than you were before COVID.
Yeah.
And then there's all these programs that are just coming out of nowhere that are excellent.
Thank you.
And you've stayed. Has it been more busy?
So on the administrative side, like putting stuff together, it is, because everything we're doing is brand new. We've never done it before. So it's like planning for the first time. Like Utopia, the first time I ran it took me months, and now it's okay, a couple weeks and we're done.
Yeah.
So these are like that. It's just like the Eggtopia event. It's going to be, we can't do a 500 person kid Easter egg hunt, right? That's not going to happen. So we are taking it, putting it in bags that families reserve for free, of course. And then they can have an Eggtopia in their backyard where we give them crafts and eggs, of course, and then Easter type, novelties, and just to keep it fun, because a lot of people look forward to that each year. And like the community yard sale we can't do, that's usually teamed up with the Easter egg hunt, because it helps those who are in the yard sale get more people, because you have a wave of families all day. But that's going to be online like it was last year. Hopefully that was pretty successful last year. So we're going to try it again, but that was easy to set up. That's all Facebook. Anything on Facebook's easy. So
what do you feel has been your most successful COVID event? That came out of nowhere.
I would say probably Spooktopia, because we were kind of one of the first, and even in the state. When we announced it, when we not announced it, what we did is, for our programming this year, is we were very quiet. We're only to this town, right? And then everybody told friends in other towns. But like usually a push for a main event like that, you go through the whole region. Yeah, you try to promote it everywhere you can to bring people in. And this was like, no, we're going to advertise it through the schools, and that's it. Even the chamber, Angela, who's one of my favorite people of all time, they
She's
post
going to be in here next week, matter of fact.
Oh, awesome. She's amazing. She's so supportive of us.
Yeah.
But she posted on the chamber website, and I'm like, can you please take it down? Like I'm now I'm doing the opposite of my job a year ago. I'm like, no, don't tell anybody. It's supposed to be residents only. But even with that said, we're the first to announce we're going to do a trunk or treat, and that's with DEP, and without Hopeville and Scott Dolly from this DEP and Eric Gilo, who runs the team at Hopeville, that could never have happened. And it was a very big surprise how successful that is. So I think that would be the biggest one, because a lot of other towns saw our posting and started to recreate it in their own towns, which is always a sign of and a good idea.
Kat Belanger puts in there, thank you, Ryan, and everyone who volunteers out with our town with families and kids.
Thanks, Kat. I see all
and
your
then
messages on Facebook. I appreciate it. You're very.
And then, of course, there's Karen, who just says ice cream truck.
Yeah, that was Karen's another. You know, Karen on Facebook. I saw her post. This is months ago about how we care about our town so much and all we do. So I want you to know I see this stuff and I appreciate it. But yeah, the ice cream, 10 hours of ice cream fun. That was great. When we had the van. Hopefully we get the van back. It's broken right now.
And then, of course, there's Scott Fryer, just a guy with a beer. You know that guy?
Yes.
Well, he's being that guy, and he says, Auburn for first selectman or president. He's just a guy with 7 beers this morning, I think.
President of what? There's like a video game club. I'll be president of that.
Ryan Auburn, president for Youth and Family Services.
There you go. I'll take that. Scott.
Well, when I was working, I worked for Radio Shack for like 13 years.
Yep.
And halfway through, I'm like, I want a title. So my boss looks at me and goes, okay, you're a vice president. I said, really? He goes, yeah, I'm going to make you a vice president. I said, how'd you do that? He goes, you're the vice president in charge of all battery installations.
Nice. What a promotion.
Said, you son of a... He said, it doesn't come with a pay increase, but oh boy, let me tell you, you can sure tell people. We'll get cards made up for you.
Yep. No, I think Scott Fryer would be a great first selectman, by the way. I'm just saying. First, second, third. I think he'd be
yeah. I don't know if Scott will run though. We'll just, you know what? Scott's not here, so we can really talk about him a lot.
Yeah, I think he would be great, and I would create his logo because his beard is so defined. Like if you put a bunch of lawn signs out with just his face and his beard, people will know vote for Scott. Like I'm pretty sure that's very successful. But thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
This is again, cool. I like this interface.
Yeah, and then Karen says ice cream truck.
So here's one of the ideas I really wanted to do. I have not gotten approval, so I haven't gone forward with it. Is AMC, you can rent out the theater.
Oh my God, who the hell?
I'm not kidding. I didn't. That was a slip.
Yeah, right. No,
I'm looking at sounds. I'm looking at sounds. I'm like, oh, what can I play here? And all of a sudden, boom, here it is, and all of a sudden I hit that, and it's like,
oh my God, who the hell cares?
So anyway,
I like your timing.
Huh?
I like the timing. It was nice.
You know what really annoys Paul?
What?
Well, just start talking.
Okay. So Mike Minarski is running for. I think you should do that to every guest you have, and then just write an article. Ryan Auburn drops the F-bomb on SNL.
You know what I gotta say? You son of Bob.
I say that.
All right, go ahead. No, I won't do it anymore. I promise.
It's all right. So I wanted, AMC.
He lied.
All right, go ahead.
How you can in Lisbon. I really wanted to, because we did this community field trip to the Nature's Art Dinosaur Park, that we had almost 300 something people attend Nature's Art, and we, as a town, through our field trips fund, we try to we paid for their reduced, of course, admission. So I saw the theater in Lisbon, you can actually rent it out. So I'm trying to figure out if the town, which is the first selectman in the health district, because that's who you ask, would allow us to rent out the theaters. COVID rules, the 25 per theater, but offer that as a family field trip for residents only. So there's things like this that I really want to get done. My staff kind of laughs at me because you can't see it, but right here, I have Post-its like crazy, and these are all the ideas. So basically, once we finish one thing, Phil will come in and be like, "Oh, what can we do now?" And I said, "Well, DCF. Make sure you call them and start reporting on that We have a form that we have to fill out each year. So, there's always something to do. It's just tracking it, which is a Post-it note system for me, which works.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now going back to the theaters.
Mhm.
So you can only bring what, 25 people?
Yeah,
Is that
currently
the
it's
number?
25 people per theater, but I talked to the general manager and they said you can fit 2 groups of 50 people in one theater.
2 groups of 15?
Two groups, so 50 people total, 25 and 25. So because a birthday party is 25 people, that's what you book it for. But if we're going to do something large scale, we can do 50 people in one theater.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. Yep.
I was thinking, 25, and what's that, 12 and a half people? Or...
Yeah.
No, I thought that's what it was. It was, 25 people, and that was it. I didn't know that you could rent it out for the $200 and then turn around and invite 50 people.
Right. Yeah, it's basically if your birthday party, it's 25 of your own people, you pay the $99. So for us, it would be $99 for 50 people, but then we can have 2 theaters, which is 200 people. So
Now, are they first run movies that they offer, or is it like something out of the vault?
no, it's up to you. The 99 is the vault stuff, and then 199 is the new stuff. It all comes down to budget because basically we have funding that we haven't used. Like if you look at our budget in the town, we really haven't used any of it. Like it's basically all going to be given back to the town, which is not a bad thing. But if I have field trip money, I want to use it for a field trip.
Don't say that, Ryan.
What's that?
You start talking about money that the youth center hasn't used. You're going to get people, they're, really staunch about their tax bills. Give it back. Let's call it a surplus.
Right. Yeah, you have to understand though. Like we budgeted for a youth basketball program that never happened. I'm not going to spend taxpayer money on something that's not a youth basketball program.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ethical more than anything.
Why do you have to be honest?
Yeah, well, you got to be.
Yeah,
if you're not, it comes out very clear and loud. Which you got to be, especially in this position. You got everything you do has to be truthful.
Let's see. Oh, Karen says ice cream truck.
Are you redoing that? Karen really liked the ice cream truck, and yes, I want to do that again. So, but the
ice cream truck.
The catch with that, the reason why we could fund that ice cream truck thing, and sorry, I have motion sensor lights. What's it called? Is because in the last summer camp where we had to cancel it, we had leftover money from that prior year that we used towards that program. So I don't know if we can do an ice cream truck this year.
Was that the day I was following the truck around?
What's that?
Was that the day I was following the ice cream truck around?
Yeah. You and
Ricky and I,
youth center need a show. If you had Ricky right there right now, she would be, giving
she doesn't never come up.
I tried to get her to go on the radio. I thought she'd be great.
She's hilarious.
I told her she should be our spokesperson.
Ricky Bevis he's talking about. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
She's the deal, man. I mean, she really is. I mean, she's just so pure-hearted and kind.
Yeah. And that's why our team's special. Because like everything we do, she has that point of view. Like even if it's against my point of view or somebody else's on the team, she has an opinion about it, and that's what makes her programming better. You gotta have multiple points of view to have something successful. And things I've launched have not been, people have, like for example, we were gonna do we had a couple some clear backpacks from the backpack program last semester that we're gonna use for the egg hunt. But Phil said, well, why don't we use something else? I'm not going to tell you because I'll give away the secret. But he's the one that pushed back on that, and I'm like, okay, that's a good idea, and that's how it changes, And you got to be open. A person that's especially in this position, you can't let your personal opinions affect the work you put out. You got to think of everybody. So, and that's kind of what we do here. We're trying to, at least.
So, you know what Karen just said? Not ice cream truck.
Oh, thanks, Karen.
She said everything Ryan does is great. I mean, Ryan, you're almost like cult hero status in Griswold. Speak to that.
What hero status?
Cult hero.
Oh no, cult.
You're like an iconic cult hero in Griswold.
Yeah, now you're gonna have like a Norwich Bolton article running that Ryan Alden's a cult president or something. Just blending all your words and making an article out of it.
Yesterday, it was spotted that 14 people wearing white robes and candles circling the youth center, chanting, "Aubin."
Well,
Norwich Bolton reporting.
I don't know. I don't think I'm a cult hero. I just think people see what we do. I mean, how can you not? It's every day. It's something new, and you just gotta let people know what you do, because not everybody's gonna do everything that you offer, but everybody's gonna do something. So you kind
I
of
think
have.
we take it in jest. I may take it in jest. We know you're not a cult leader. We know you're not a cultaholic or anything like that. I mean, you like pro wrestling, for Christ's sakes. I mean, how can you not? And you're very, very you're straight across the board. All the time with the programs that you do. There's no crack in your character. I have yet to see it in the last 6 years. So when people write things like Ryan, you're a great guy, or everything Ryan does is great. Ryan for first selectman. Thank you, Ryan. And of course, ice cream truck.
Yeah. No, it's the support's there, and
Yeah.
I appreciate it, because I mean there's an article. So on Facebook we have these scheduled published like posts that pop up. That's a lot of sorry. So that pop up, and one that came out was 2015, I think, when we moved into the location we are now.
Yeah.
That and you go back then, even though Facebook wasn't really, I mean, it was a thing, right? But we weren't using it as best as we could. We still had huge support from the town. And if you don't have this element of social media that you can share exactly communications as they happen instantly, you're going to lose rapport in the town, because people are going to think you're doing nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They know we're busy because we're showing them we're busy. That's kind of why this tool is special. But without the support, the article I posted yesterday has a bunch of comments. Lisa Coe almost gave me a tear in my eye, because what she said was amazing, and what Pepe said was amazing, and just people care about us, and that's all through what we do. It's through our actions, right? It's not because we're great people. It's because what we do, we care. That comes through pretty well.
Can you tell us about the new program that you've been posting about?
Which one? I'm sorry.
You tell me.
There's the Prodigy one just ended. That was a math program that we had up.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't that one?
Whole bunch of kids. See, I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to open my website. I built the website for me to keep track of what we do. By the way, that's a secret.
Obviously, I didn't. You just posted about it too, and I'm drawing a block.
The books. No, that wasn't it. I'm going down the list. Oh, we're hiring for summer camp. Knock on wood. We're hoping that happens. We still have to hire a staff if it does happen. The budget we are asking for, I have to tell the Board of Finance and the Board of Selectmen, honest, every year our summer camp pays for itself. With the rules of the state, I honestly can't say that this summer camp's going to pay for itself. It's going to be an expense. I'm trying to be honest as possible, because be honest on the front instead of, when people find out and they're angry, right? You got to be honest on the face of everything. But that's the first time in 14 years I don't think we'll be able to pay back a summer camp 100+%. The other thing, the Unplugged event, is that it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Unplugged, what it first started as is the youth service bureaus, O-Line, who's a very special team there. An unplug event is basically trying to get kids and their families away from technology, right? Because each day they're at school, online, in school, they're still on a computer, online. Everything is so targeted to the internet right now that people are forgetting, and kids, I'm seeing this, are forgetting how to have fun outside. So for a weekend on Earth Day,
that's really true.
Yeah, and you probably see it with the kids in your house too, that they're glued to cell phones, and it's crazy the mental impact this has on these kids and how they're gonna get through it. But this idea is to work with nonprofits, organizations, the scout groups, businesses, to offer a whole regimen or database of things you can do that weekend that are away from the internet and fun. So an example is Lionel LaSalle's bringing his float here to the park, and we're going to have social distance photo shoots with the Easter Bunny. So the Easter Bunny is going to be on the float. The family stands in front of the float 10 plus feet, but in a photo, it doesn't look like there's much of a difference because the float is higher than the family. So, and then Jute City Savings Bank is doing a craft activity. Eastern is doing their craft activity. River Church, which is opening in April, is actually going to be, you can't go into the building, but they're going to hand out, take home activities. Friends of Patchogue is organizing something to do. They're amazing. I'm sure they're going to surprise everybody because they come out with great programming every time. And then like there's yoga, Earth Day yoga in the park by Erica Sundstrom.
Right.
And just all this different stuff. And it's not just Griswold in Jewett City, it's actually Lisbon too. That's why we use the zip code, because we cover them as well. But it's all weekend. And the idea, originally it was going to be in March. And the reason why it was going to be in March is because we're trying to be at the same time of other youth service bureaus. But the feedback we got was it needs to be warmer. So, and I completely agree. So we bumped it back. And we're hoping the school can send out our information to all the kids that weekend. We're doing a new historical scavenger hunt based on Disney around the town, and just all this neat stuff of people coming together and being creative, and local businesses promoting themselves, which is always a good thing. And restaurants, which is new, like Uncle Cranky's is offering 15% off that weekend, dine in or take out. And then Connecticut Pizza in Lisbon is doing a deal. So it's going to be really cool.
That is excellent, sir. That is excellent. The creativity really in the last year has been amazing. And I think it's really kind of pushed the limits of what you normally do. And it's forced you to come up with more events that are conducive to the way of life that we're living right now. And you're coming through with gold stars.
Well, thank you. And you kind of have to. Like if you don't adapt and then you sit on your hands and do like one thing a month, people are going to forget. You got to do stuff weekly, if not weekly. And while all this is going on, we still have a functioning youth center. That's you gotta adapt, or you're not serving as well as you could.
You remember back in the day when you were in school and your papers would get graded when you were smaller?
Yep.
And you get the silver star, and then there was the gold star.
Yep.
If you got the silver star, it was like, all right, but I really wanted the gold star, because the kid next to you, whoever, the brown noser that sat next to you, Myra,
yep.
Always got the gold star. You, sir, in the last year, get the gold star.
Oh, thank you. It's worth it. So I now, can I get your WWE championship? Because that's the gold star.
No, man, that's staying around my big fat waist.
I sent you a link. You could buy more of them. I was trying to get you to buy a whole bunch for your studio.
$300 a piece.
I can't afford it. So
No, I bought this on eBay for like $50.
really?
Brand
Okay.
new in the
I
box.
did that.
It was brand new in the box. Was it hot? I don't know.
I
I
got
don't know
kids.
if I care.
So yeah, but one day you'll see behind me, I'll have a big old championship belt.
You have like the hardcore championship.
I will. The kids at one year made me one, out of paper, but it just fell apart. That was years ago. That actually
When
made
I,
the move from the old building to this building.
when I was a kid, we made one. We made them out of boxes, and we'd cut them out,
Oh, that's smart.
and then we would tape them to us. Like the
Yeah.
the strap.
Yep.
We'd walk in, and I'll tell you something. When they say do not do this at home, the actual wrestling moves. It's true. I actually broke the kid's arm.
Did you really?
I honestly did. I mean, it wasn't intentional, obviously, but
You
I
deserve
did.
it.
I did.
Well,
So
yeah, I think we talked about this before, but like in Plainfield, they had the barn and those wrestling matches there. And when I was a kid growing up, and one of my good friends, his name was Duff. His last name was Duff, like Simpsons Duff Beer.
right.
So, and he was a wrestler. So we used to go to the barn and watch him wrestle all the time. And it was fun. I can't do that now.
No. Remember was it the Horseshoe Cafe?
Yeah.
Down
Yep.
in Lisbon. It's now the Green Onion.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have wrestling in there. They just had flat out bare knuckle fights.
That was outside too.
that was outside too in the parking lot. So
publicity.
Bell time was 8:00. Guarantee somebody was swinging.
Well,
all right. I know you got a couple of things you got going on this morning, so I want to let you go and
I
appreciate.
I appreciate it. Thank you for rescheduling and stuff. I was worried I couldn't make it. I have another meeting coming up. So.
No, that's all right. We all have to be flexible, and I appreciate when you're actually able to come on because I know you're a pretty busy dude. So
you got it, man. Thanks for the support.
Ryan. No, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
You got it. Take it easy.
All right.
Bye.
Ryan Aubin from the Griswold Youth Center, the director of Youth and Family Services. So, Paul, the man does a lot. You gotta say that. So,
yeah, he does.
Anyway, all right. We're a little bit late for news, but we're going to do it just the same right here on SNSN Internet Radio.
The flagship for Griswold High School sports. And your home for local news and weather.
Broadcasting from Main Street in the borough of Druid City.
The Streaming News and Sports Network, SNSN.
The 9 a.m. report on the Streaming News and Sports Network is being brought to you by Charlene's